got mail. Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next hour or so, along with Gal.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. And Nick is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Spence is here.
Happy day.
And there is Katie, too.
Morning.
Morning.
Whole gang's back.
Our number is 518-518-9773, and today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear.
Actually, I'm an AI companion. Spencer is off doing something.
Yeah,
Pretty good, huh?
He said that he was going somewhere last week.
Wow, so lifelike.
So what happened last week? Anybody?
So I did it. I tested Cursor. I actually ended up using it all yesterday, and I really like it. It was kind of crazy. It was a sign from the gods for me to use Cursor because I've been watching a lot of tutorials.
Don't you mean hold on a second? Don't you mean it was a sign from Gaul?
Yeah, no. Well, here, let me explain why. Gaul recommended it. Gaul
Yes.
recommended it, but I didn't dive into it because I didn't want to spend the money. At least not yet. So I tested it a little bit, and it was great, but it was using up credits a lot. So I was like, So then I've been kind of dragging my feet and doing a bunch of research so that I don't waste the credits. But yesterday in the morning, I got an email from ChatGPT that said, "Hey, you deserve a free month of ChatGPT." And I was like, "I do deserve a free month of ChatGPT." So I got a free month, and with that, it unlocked Cursor because I went to ChatGPT and I said, "Hey, I want to build this thing. I'm using Cursor. What do I do?" And it gave me a whole list. Okay, it said, "Ask it to do this first. Ask it to do that next," and blah blah. And I literally did it all day. And then eventually on Cursor, I hit the paywall and I just paid it because it was doing exactly what I wanted to do. And when I ran up into a confusion or a logic issue, I went to ChatGPT and I was like, I don't know how to ask this. And I was like, I do. And it gave me the thing. And so Cursor, I would give it what ChatGPT told me to give it, and it would do it. And then it would break it down step by step so that it wouldn't overwhelm or have too many bugs or issues. And so now I have a working website, and the website is for tagging and organizing books. Because right now I get really frustrated trying to find a story or find a new recommendation for a book, and I want specific tags. Like I want it to have this, that, and whatever in the story. And books nowadays, they just don't go into that detail. So I asked ChatGPT, I was like, okay, how do I start this? And I was like, okay, well, do 10 books yourself, turn it into a Google sheet, and then ask Cursor to do this. And then it got to the point where I did it in increments, so I wasn't overwhelmed. That at the end of yesterday, I set up a server on a website called Subbase or something, and now I can dynamically update the database through the website. And it was just great because the way that ChatGPT handled it and did it step by step so that I wasn't overwhelmed, and the way that Cursor just did it, crazy.
And
Okay, so one thing. Why do you think you need ChatGPT?
Because I like to logic it out through ChatGPT, and on Cursor, it saves. So there's a little thing on the bottom that it saves its memory or whatever. I don't know what it's called. And if you use up the memory, it like deletes the oldest set of memory to make room for the new memory or whatever. And I
Yeah,
don't.
you're talking about the it's called the context window. But hold on. So you're thinking you just need to use another agent to do that. So why not just open another chat inside Cursor, because you can open multiple agents, especially now that you're paying for it. So the limits that you're reaching are much higher. Not only that, is you can ask that second agent, you can ask it to be a ChatGPT agent. Like, you can choose the models that's
Oh
using.
yeah, that's right. I forgot you could do that. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just what I was comfortable with.
Just-
It's what I knew going in, and I've used ChatGPT a lot, so I was very comfortable using it. And I mean, now that so that's the thing though, the cursor, there's so much, and I was watching
There is a
tutorials
lot.
on how to do it, and it just was so easy for me to go to ChatGPT when I get that because I get that free month now, and I'm like, here, help me figure this out, and it was like,
That's
here's what you
fine.
should do.
No, yeah, that's totally fine. I'm just, especially when that 3 months is over, right? You still have it, especially if you are paying for Cursor. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Okay, you still have that. So, and you have it within Cursor.
Yeah, you're right. Now that you mention it, I do remember watching the tutorial. So on Cursor's website, it has like a learn how to use it, and the classes are really good, or like it has a good breakdown for layman people, aka me. Um, and I do remember him saying that you could switch out the AI agent that it uses or whatever it's called, model.
Awesome.
I used Cursor for probably 15 minutes a couple weeks ago when we talked about it, but I didn't read any of the tutorials, and it gave me a bunch of stuff and prompts, and I had to close out of the software, and then I reopened it, and it was all gone. So I didn't.
See,
I haven't touched it
But
since.
it's not
I didn't.
supposed to. It's supposed
Well,
to remember exactly where you were.
It didn't remember anything. It opened
Oh
up
wait,
as a
you've never
you gotta set a project.
opened the project. Yeah.
precisely. I never did
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, I was
You
just,
gotta watch the tutorials.
I wasn't really in the mood to actually start anything. I was just
Nick, it
was-
is so powerful. Like when
Yeah.
I watched a YouTuber that made it, and it was clickbait. It was like make an app that makes millions. Which
Yeah.
which is whatever. But he broke it down and was like, hey, this is what it can do. This is what you have to do. And I was like, awesome. The the first thing I had to do was make a website that just said hello world, and I didn't know what it was gonna do. Like I thought it was just gonna make it in the thing. No, when I set the project in my folder, it started making like files, like HTML and like JavaScript files and like naming folders. I guess it was in my computer doing stuff, and I was like, oh my god, this is so crazy. And so it was insane. And so now my project file is like all this complicated stuff, and I didn't do anything. All I did was like, hey, do this thing. And then I was getting confused trying to I've never set a server before. I've never done any data or whatever. And it was like, take this and send it to the SQL. And I was like, what the hell's an SQL? And then it was like, you know what? Let me make a separate document and you just copy and paste it to the server. I was like, okay, good. I told it, don't assume I know what I'm doing, because I don't.
But
Yeah.
Kathy, I have a question about this. So you had it do it for you. Did you learn anything from that whole process that would help you with other stuff? Did you, Katie, learn, or you, if you needed to create another one, you would have to go back to Cursor and ask him?
Oh, yes, but it's like learning. It's like going to a master craftsman and you watch them make a masterpiece
Mhm.
or whatever, or like build a cabinet. And so in theory, like sure, I know you're gonna need these
Okay.
tools and you're gonna need these pieces, but if I had to sit there and do it, it was coding like crazy. Like in 5 minutes, it made like 10 documents that organized data, and it was all had code in it. And it was anticipating my needs. Like for example, when the complicated part was instead of me manually entering data in the CSV or whatever, when I added a new book, I needed the website to be able to handle like entries, and it would update the data and then delete the data or whatever. And it was anticipating that I didn't tell it to edit the data. I just said I want to be able to enter new stuff. And so then it was like, oh, well, we need a separate document that handles the logic on if you want to edit, and so that it doesn't get confused with entries. And if there's duplicates, you can check for that. Like all of this stuff that I didn't ask for, but it knew. It was like, you're probably gonna want this. I was like, cool.
Cool.
yeah. I need to. I'm looking forward to giving it a try.
I'm also wondering, so That
Are you going to give it a try, Amnon?
no. That website that you created, you said was for Katie.
Yeah.
What was it
Oh,
for?
it's for book recommendations
Okay.
and book tagging.
Is this for you or for somebody else?
No, the goal is to make it public to where
Okay,
people
now,
can up.
That's
Okay.
that's the question I have about. So now when it's created and somebody's taking it and using it actually as their website, do they have to continue using Cursor and
No.
ChatGPT to update it, or they
No,
do?
it makes the website. So everything is native on the website.
And
Or
when you
so
want to add books to the thing, can it be done in a way that without using those external helpers,
well,
or
yeah, that's what I spent all yesterday evening doing. So now all of the data handling, like adding and subtracting or editing,
right?
is done through the website,
Okay.
and Cursor does nothing. Like it
Okay.
wrote the code so that it can talk to the so that my website can talk to the online database. So that was why I needed to start a server in an online database so that and then I got the API key whatever and
Mhm.
What is
then
this? For? It's all SQL, right?
yeah. And so Cursor was like, I need the API key. And what was great about Cursor is I had no idea what it was talking about. It was like, oh, here's the code to access subpar or subbase. And uh and then of course I tried to use it and it didn't work because I didn't set up the other stuff. And I said, look, you're gonna have to break this down because I don't know what I'm doing. And it was like, okay, well go to this website, make an account, go to project settings, and I like listed all this stuff out. I was like, okay, cool. So I did all of that and then it said I'm gonna need this, and this, which can be found here, and here on the website. I was like, perfect, and I did that, and then it worked
Wow.
because it
Okay,
said
so one more thing. Another step that you could have done even more within Cursor is, okay, can you do this for me in the browser? And it'll open its internal browser and you'll see it doing stuff for you.
okay,
Yeah, something to try.
yeah,
It's mind-blowing once you see it in action. It's exactly what was predicted that will be available. It is available. It is working. Now, is it safe? Right? To a degree, yes. And you need to, if you're worried about safety, and I'm not saying don't worry, right? But if you're worried about safety, then you can control each of its actions and either be there to say, yes, okay, you're about to do this. Okay, I'll approve that. Or you can whitelist the type of actions that you deem safe for it to do, like searching the web for certain sites or making changes to your local files within the project, etc. And there's these iteration of trust that goes between you and the agent, and you're building your trust in the agent's ability to do what you're telling it within its parameters. There is the next step is to understand how to orchestrate multiple agents doing the work for you and vetting it out on its own. When you get to that stage, it starts to be mind-boggling. If you're overwhelmed now by what has been presented, the freedom that has been presented to you using a tool like this, the next step is even more exciting, um, and it's impressive as hell. We had a guest over, a little 8-year-old, and I sat down with her, and I asked her if she knew what ChatGPT is and all that, right? Like I asked her if she said, yeah, it's something. It's like this chat thing that you talk with and you ask a question. I said, okay, so this is similar, and let's ask it to create a game. Which game do you want it to create, right? And we went through a very similar process of what you were experiencing. and she's an 8-year-old. She does not understand software at all, right? For her, there's an app that she like the concept that an app is something that somebody builds for you, right? That's foreign. It's not part of a vocabulary. And we sat down and we created that. And at first, it did a lot of things wrong, and we needed to tell it to change how to approach it and all that. Fascinating to see her reaction to it. Fascinating to see the excitement. And what Katie is describing is exactly the processes that I went through when I got to actually try out Cursor for real. So yeah, it's really impressive.
What game did you guys make?
She wanted to create like a plane with a ball where you tilt it and the ball goes through different
Mazes.
barriers, sort of.
Yeah.
So, and
And
like level up. I started creating it. Yeah, it was really interesting.
So it's for
We never got
the
to finish
phone?
it. What's that?
Was it for the phone? Like, where did you play it on?
No, it created it for the PC, basically running in a browser. So yeah, it's really cool. There was an interesting point that you mentioned that you went to a clickbait that says we had the short discussion of it in the back, whether this can actually create software that that
We can
will make you
monetize.
money. And here it's interesting. I think there's definitely people who are going to create a lot of throwaway apps, I'll call them. Okay, like I sat down with my AI machine and I've created a new piece of software, and I'm sharing it with the world either through an app store or whatnot. And there's going to be a lot of that. A lot of them are going to be crap. There's going to be one or two. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, 100%.
Even without LLM, a lot of them are crap, right?
Yeah,
So
go to GitHub and look at
Yeah.
repositories. There's a lot of garbage in there.
Exactly. And we're already seeing it in the open source side. There's a lot of new generated apps. Some of them, the ideas are great. Execution is subpar because either the person just did it in one sitting and will never revisit it again, and you see they grow stale. Was created 4 months ago, but no new commits, no new changes to it. And software must evolve because even when it's created by an LLM, it is that there are things that we either did not think about or that will break. So there's going to be that, and there's safety in using, especially when we talk about hosting metadata that comes from other people. Data governance in general, right? The AI isn't really taking that into account when you're asking it to generate code, exactly as if a beginner coder will not think about those aspects at the beginning, especially if you're not making something for production. But when you are making something for production, the limitations and the complexity starts to rise, and things that must be taken into account are not necessarily taken into account if you're not asking for them. So a lot of newcomers to software production are stepping in, but they are not aware of all of the important steps that need to take in planning such software, right? They want to see the buttons and they want to see it react correctly, and you get that interaction very fast because that's what you asked for. But making it secure and knowing how to test that it's secure, right? All of that is not in that conversation at all. So before exposing it to somebody, right, you need to do your research. You need to be knowledgeable enough to know what you want. Spence, you mentioned the searching for a specific part in a specific car, right? And it gave you the wrong schematics because there was something that you didn't ask it and it didn't think about it on itself. this is exactly this, right? Guiding it. You need to know where to guide it through.
But see,
It's interesting though,
I
because
don't.
I mean, you have to get really specific then. For a person who's just walking up to it and asking the first time, wouldn't know that there are model year changes to even ask.
Mhm.
I started being suspicious when I said, I looked at this diagram. It does not match the vehicle I have. And you're
Correct.
telling me that it's right. So then I
So
said,
let me
is
ask you
there a
this.
model year change? Yeah.
So
Can
let
I
me
jump
ask you
in?
this.
Can I jump
Yeah,
in
go
before you
ahead.
ask him that? I think that what you just described, Colin, what Spence experiences, I think one of the, and believe me, I'm not one of these AI is a fad people that seemingly that do exist, and I think some valid points are made. But right there is the issue with AI that it has to overcome the hump for. I mean, Spence is competent enough in mechanics that he was able to dig that down and look at an actual diagram and say, this is my car. That is not 99% of people that would be opening up ChatGPT and saying, hey, I have this issue. What do I do? That's where the maturity has to continue to grow. And it is, but it's not there yet.
Well, okay. So think about it this way. There are 3 garages in the neighborhood. Okay, we'll take the car mechanic thing. There are 3 garages. One was opened last week and is run by a very young guy. Okay, so experience-wise, we're not expecting that person to have seen everything, right? One
Sure.
has been there for 20 years, and another that has been there for a few years, but its rating on Google is like crap. Okay. Uh, the comparison here is by the experience of who's managing it. The big garage that's been there for 20 years or something, right, has a lot of workers in them, but whoever is managing them also has experience doing that. He's not doing the work himself, and yes, it's a bit more expensive using him, but he's not the guy who opened the garage is no longer the one, cranking the wrenches, but he knows how to guide all of his workers there. And the new place has 0 experience. Now, he might have gotten a lot of experienced people working under him, but he does not know how to guide them in the work. Spence comes in and talks with somebody up front, right? And they all give him different results, different solutions.
Yeah.
But the one with experience, right? And that's the person that Spence wants to talk with. The ones with experience is usually less available for him. Now you come to this automated thing. If I know how to talk with an experienced mechanic, right, then I will get what I need. If I do
You're
not know
exactly
how
right.
to ask, right?
Exactly right, Gal, because my experience with AI, this doesn't stop me from wanting to use it. This makes me a better user of it. So,
Exactly.
and now I
And
know to be skeptical, or not even skeptical, to be aware of what is happening in the background, so I can get to the answer that I need.
Correct.
It was the first couple of times this happened to me, it was frustrating, and I realized, wait a second, I need to be able to plug in what I know, so it gives me a better answer.
Right.
correct,
So,
but that works. But that
go
works
ahead.
because you know, and I
Right.
think that is the maturity that AI. And
Yes.
I'm not being overly critical. I mean, it will mature. The technology, even from what it was 12 or 16 months ago, has matured dramatically. That is, I think, and it's going to be probably the hardest part for these LLMs to work on, is when you're truly talking to or having a conversation with somebody that does not know, has 0 context, does not know that there's a difference between the 3.5 and 4.5 on the car,
Yep.
or keeping with the mechanic discussion, or that there was a mid-year revision because there was a fatal issue with something. That is going to be the hardest and probably one of the longest parts of AI's maturity is, okay, hey, I know nothing. I have no ability to troubleshoot at all, but I need to give you but I need you to give me the right answer. That's going to be, and that's always going to be tough. It'd be no different than if I called Spence and said, hey, Spence, I'm not going to tell you what car I'm driving, but I'm having this problem. What do I do? I mean, his answers, or Amnon, their answers are going to be the same as well. Well, what car? I don't know. Where's it doing? I don't know.
I hope
What year? I don't know.
I hope one thing, that from this experience that ChatGPT had with Spence, not the other way around, that the next person that would ask ChatGPT would say, it's right here, the plug is right here, but if you have a mid-year change, which is at this date and that date, then it will be here. That's how AI should learn from
that's very possible.
experience of other people.
And it does.
Yeah.
If you're using the free
memory
version,
will
it's definitely
update.
learning from you.
What?
Yeah, and you'll see it if you've used it. You'll sometimes do something, and it will say memory updated because it is updating something that is relevant.
I
guess that's
your
technically
profile.
a little bit different.
That's just your profile. Yeah.
That's a good point. But yeah, it's definitely learning.
In
There's
this
no question
case,
about it.
the AI actually said, "Hey, you're right."
Yeah.
And said,
By the
yes,
way,
there is a
one of
model.
the instructions I give AI bots as I start is stop being overzealous. I do not need compliments from you. This is what I'm asking. Because otherwise it goes into that hyperbole. And I don't want to talk with a marketing agent, right? It's like... So.
In some cases, you can, like you said, you can set the default level when you start with the session to say, just give me the answers, don't give me commentary.
Right.
One other
thing I wanted to mention that it's going to be pain out there, right? And the pain is going to come from people who are very publicly using it and don't understand it.
Yep.
Like this lawyer, now state lawyer, I think it was in Atlanta. Let me see, where was it?
Doesn't matter where.
No, but she was presenting cases for the state against somebody using case law that didn't exist.
Yeah.
And this has happened more than once.
Yeah.
And the judge said, "What are you getting this case?" And she looked it up on AI.
Yeah.
And just accepted that it was real. So
hallucinations.
In that case, it could have destroyed somebody's life because you found case law that didn't exist.
So, two skills that everybody needs to still like. The continuing questions that I always see about AI is, what do we let our kids learn, right? If AI is going to do so much for them. So, two skills that is clearly going to be needed moving forward, at least at this point. And one is critical thinking. That is number one. Never accepting an answer just because somebody said it, never accepting an answer because it's written somewhere, unless you cross-reference, unless you do some work in order to vet this out and understand what is behind the source. And a second one is management. Because you are starting to manage these assistants, right? They are finally worthy of the title assistant, right? If we call these digital assistants in before, or helper tools or whatever, we now have assistants that are not flesh and blood, right? That's what we have now. And with the experience Katie had, right, that's exactly what she was doing. She was asking an assistant, right, that cursor bot, to build something for her, and it went ahead and did it. Right. So when this expands to not just build me some code, it expands to manage my accounts, for example, right? My financial accounts, then you need to be versed enough in financial management, in managing your financial assets. You do not need to necessarily know all of the intricate details of each asset that is being managed, but you do need to understand what are trend lines and what you need to understand how to analyze effectiveness, how to test it, how to guide the assistant in testing that, etc. So these two skills, they are the ones that are showing up more and more and more, right? So you want to do something, first you need to become a sort of, you don't need to necessarily be an expert, but you need to definitely be hobby level expert, right?
Verse.
Yeah, you need to be versed, you need to understand, right? You
And
cannot just rely on whoever is giving you the assistant.
Herein lies the rub, is that are we producing from our school system people who use critical skills, critical thinking?
No.
And we aren't, and that's part of the problem. But so I want to see this work. I want to see people be able to use it. But like you said, if there's no light bulb that goes on in their head to say this doesn't seem to be exactly what I expected, or we need to have that.
Yep.
I hope it drives it. I mean, I hope it drives the skill.
It will.
I'm going to make one final point, and then we can move on from this. I'm still having some pretty serious hallucination issues with my AI.
Oh, I thought you do.
No, well, I mean, not anything out of the ordinary.
Knock off the
for me.
mushrooms,
That's
Nick.
been, yeah, I mean that's been typical
Yeah.
for years, so no change there. I'm still getting sporadic hallucination, and it's just driving me nuts. I don't know why it continues to do it. And it's simple stuff. I'm looking at like a 3 or 4 page PDF that I know the details of, and I'm asking it to summarize, and it's just flat out making stuff up. And
Which models are you
until
using?
I call it on it? It goes, oh wow. I'm using GPT Pro or whatever the latest Pro
Before
paper.
we
maybe-
move on, I wanted to highlight one AI entrepreneur that's done a great job using this tool. It's a North Carolina entrepreneur. Said North Carolina musician Michael Smith has pled guilty to collecting over $10 million in royalty payments through a massive streaming royalty fraud with Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and YouTube Music by creating AI songs that really didn't exist, and then using bots to listen to those songs to create half a penny royalty for each listen, to the
Wow.
tune of $600,000. Oh no, it's
Wow.
more than that. $600,000 a year. And let me get the right.
Well,
Oh no, it's 6,000 streams per day. Monthly earnings of 99,000. So over the life of this, he collected over $1.2 million.
I need to
They
do
caught
that.
him.
And I was going to serve a bunch of jails.
I want Gal to go back to
Yeah,
what
but how
Nick
much
was talking
jail
about.
time?
I don't know. The story is not that
Look, if
new.
it's
It
just jail
appeared.
time and he doesn't need to pay back, maybe it
Oh,
was
that's
worth
bad. Yeah, that's bad.
Gal,
And he had accomplices in the industry
it.
who were executives at companies, streaming companies, who were in it with him.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
it's
that's
just-
yeah. Now it starts to make sense.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Gal,
Amnon, yeah.
you started answering Nick about those
About-
hallucinations, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were cut off.
So with hallucinations, the way to deal with it is to work with multiple agents. Okay. And what you want, Nick, actually, I think if you start using Cursor to do your work, you will actually be surprised how effective it does it. Because you
Well, I
can
don't
guide
need-
it.
Most of the work I'm
Hmm.
doing though is not programming. I wouldn't use Cursor for that.
No. Forget. The fact that Cursor is an IDE designed for programmers doesn't diminish it or makes it focus on programming. That's the thing.
Okay.
That's one of the things that people are just missing. Because you're using you can guide it to use specific models. So you can still use GPT from
Yes.
within it by paying Cursor and not paying directly to ChatGPT. They are still using ChatGPT's models, okay? And not only that is you can everything you say, you can tell it, okay, run this context, right, through 3, 4, 5 different agents, and it'll do that, and it'll then and you can tell it, okay, run it through these 4 agents, and then come back with the results and give me a consensus of the 4 agents.
Okay, I don't disagree with your point, and what you're saying is definitely would be the way to go. But this only bolsters the point that AI is just not there. When I'm giving it a 3-page PDF and asking it to summarize what's on it, and this is not a complicated PDF. This is literally like not even a 2-page PDF, and it is making stuff up. That is a problem. And
Yeah.
yes, the right
Stop
now
working with
solution is
PDFs,
to.
first of all, just work with Markdown.
Well, what do you mean stop
just
working?
work with plain text ASCII.
Yeah, but that's not okay. But that's not always suitable.
So you need tools.
So I mean, yes, I
so
hear
that's the thing. You need
no, yeah, but again, Kyle, at this point, I'll just read the 2-page PDF myself and just come up with
Right.
my own
you
freaking
see,
summary. I mean,
I
if
was
I've got to
just-
take an image and convert it to Markdown and run it through 4 different models and find the summary, I'll just read the PDF. I mean, there's no freaking point at that point.
You see,
It's
so
2
what I'm
pages.
describing to you sounds like a lot of work. What I'm describing is a single
It is.
prompt in Cursor. That's what you are missing out of this. Cursor will do the work, but it has nothing
Well,
to do
any
with
of the
you.
models will do the work. I get that. I get that. I'm finding myself frustrated. With,
I think what Nick,
AI is going to change the world, and look at all this amazing shit it can do. And I give it a 2-page PDF, and it just
will
makes something
do
up.
amazing shit if you use it amazingly. It will do shit.
Well, I don't know
work
how-
if you use
how don't
it
I-
in a shitty way.
How? Well, I understand, but when I'm saying, hey, take a look at this 2-page PDF that was just submitted to the North Carolina State Board of Elections, and pull out some of the highlights, and it just makes something up. I mean, what am I doing
You're
wrong in
using
my
the wrong
prompt?
model. That's all.
Wait, I
That's
have a
the
question.
answer, and that's why you need to check it with multiple models. Right now, you cannot trust
Okay.
a single
I mean,
model.
that might.
That's the point.
Wait, I have a question. Wait, hold on. Nick,
But-
you said you've been doing this for a while. Is it breaking down
Yes.
now, or has it always kind of had issues of inaccuracy?
It was way more prominent probably a year ago, and I will, to its credit, it is doing a much better job now. But I had an experience, and I only typically do this on short things that I have already read, because I can't afford to repeat something that is wholly inaccurate, or write an article based on something that is wholly inaccurate. It's a quick way for me to lose my job. And so when I'm doing short stuff that I already have read and know what the details are, I'll throw it in there just to see if it pulls up the same points that I do, or maybe it has a different vantage point on something that is in there. And I would say it's still doing it often enough that it's problematic. It's not like once every 6 months kind of thing. This is like, once or twice a week, which
Nick,
I think is too much. Which is too much.
Nick, I would just correct you in one thing. You said that AI is not there.
Yeah.
I would say not there yet.
No,
It's
not
probably
out
getting
there yet.
it's
Yeah.
probably getting better slowly. It's just like a kid. He's
Every
2 years
it's not,
old.
It's not even slowly. It's every single day, and I'm not oblivious to that. I'm not believe me, I'm not an anti-AI guy. I use it literally for hundreds of
You're
tasks.
just giving
a
a
week.
reality check, so
Yeah, it's just I think again we're talking about, all of us are in the tech sphere. All of us have some level of understanding how to work with this stuff, and I'm still at the point where I'm wondering for the layman. I'm thinking of my parents who are not tech people, who may not, or as Spence was describing with his example, have no experience dealing with their car outside of putting the key in the ignition and turning it. When are we at the point for them where they can jump in there and use it and not have to worry about potentially getting either the wrong answer, or spend so much time arguing with this LLM that at that point just take it to the freaking garage?
You know what's a
So,
funny,
The
a
answer
funny
is yes,
analogy?
actually. Go ahead.
Funny analogy here would be, this is like going to YouTube to get an answer to your car problem, because there's a rainbow of people with ideas on how to
Yes.
do stuff. Some of them are not
Mhm.
very good at all. So, yeah.
Oh, believe me, I've been
Oh,
down that
God.
rabbit hole. Taking half my car apart and like, uh-oh,
Yeah. Pour,
this is terrible. This is not a
pour
good
this
guide.
cup of sugar into your gas tank to clean up your fuel system. Right? You know,
Yeah.
Amnon remembers this because that was a way sugar in the gas tank. 'Cause
Yep.
if you wanted to get, hurt somebody, it ruins the engine.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, I always fill up my car with
That's
diesel.
it.
That's always my solution to cleaning my
it automatically,
cleaning my
adjusts.
system out.
Yeah, but I
Yes,
mean, no, it's what Nick is talking about, and what Spence is talking about, and I had an experience like this. One word to add to the way you are addressing a question changes the whole thing.
Well, and the good news is over time, and this goes back to the literacy point that Gal mentioned earlier, there will become a point where when more and more people are using this on a daily basis,
Right.
the same way that you and I learn how to address each other in a way that if I know that Amnon can't figure this out, if I say it to him in a certain way, I need to change the way that I phrase my statement to him.
Right.
It will be no different with ChatGPT.
Yep.
We're just not the layman is not there yet. They will get there if it stays as hot of an industry as it is, which I presume that it will. I'm not an AI bubble guy.
You know, it would
it
be
will get
cool.
there, but it's just
It would
not
be
there
cool
yet.
if you-
I beg to differ, by the way.
What,
I don't
that it's
think
not a
we're on
bubble?
that path yet. Anyway, the industry is not on that path. The industry right now is not even trying to solve what you're describing.
That's true.
That's why I'm saying this isn't about tools for the layman. It never was. Okay, it's a
I mean, that's an interesting perspective, Gal. I don't know that I've ever
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say that.
it's about
That's a really good point.
enhancing our cognitive abilities, yes, but it's not about replacing people, and that has never been the goal, right? It's about augmenting the ability of people. But if you are an idiot with a hammer, right? Like,
How dare you speak
it's
of me
not
in that
just
way?
about you. I'm talking in general, right? You give an idiot a hammer, right? Then he might kill somebody. It's the same thing. It's just a very powerful hammer.
But that
Yeah.
was a
It's a good
profound
perspective.
statement, Gall, because it's being marketed to people
Exactly.
as that.
That's what I'm saying though. Like there is like you look. I mean, Christ, I was watching basketball yesterday, and ChatGPT's got a freaking ad every commercial break.
Oh
I mean,
my God.
That you're not going to get
This-
any more mainstream. And by the way, the
The
commercials
Super
suck.
Bowl.
I don't know
the
what
Super
Let me
Bowl,
guess. They
they had
made it
a-
with AI.
I don't know. It's just some late. It's literally like the prompt is like, "Help me run through the remainder of the year running," and it's this lady running outside, and the prompt is scrolling up the screen, and it's like, "Oh, a great way to run is to run with friends, and I can help you make a schedule and create a playlist." I'm like, what kind of bullshit is what? You're
Well,
gonna
you
pay
need to
$20 a
remember
month for
yeah.
ChatGPT to say running with people and
Well-
them holding you accountable is the solution? I mean, that's
Wait,
insane.
the Super Bowl this year, I can't remember if it was Claude or Gemini, but one of them was the sponsor for the Super Bowl, and there was an ad for it every commercial break.
Yeah, it was Claude,
Yeah.
I think.
All right.
Which is Claude is who? Claude is Google?
Yeah. No,
No.
Gemini
Cloud
is
is
Google.
Anthropic. Gemini is
Anthropic.
Google.
Is Google, yeah.
And just to add to this is OpenAI announced it's acquiring developer tooling startup Astral to strengthen its Codex AI coding assistant, which has over 2 million weekly users and has seen a threefold increase in user growth since the start of the year. So it's going to be coding better.
Well, right now the focus is coding because of a couple of reasons, but mostly it generates a lot. All of this business of AI is measured The money itself is measured by tokens in and tokens out. And a token
Oh.
is a character, right? It's just the amount of text that is being ingested and outputted. And so with code, the generation, it generates a lot more tokens as answers, not just simple readable paragraphs of text. And so business-wise, it's the best path forward for them to grow as fast as possible, as well as also use it to build the other aspects of the models, right? Because they are using this new coding mechanism internally as well to create new augmentation to it. So that's why we see it first on coding, but it'll focus on everything. It'll be like this on anything.
Here is how AI is going to help each and every one of us. Walmart has secured patents for systems that use machine learning to forecast demand and automate pricing decisions, pushing the U.S. retail behemoth into a debate over the use of algorithms to adjust product cost. So you
They
can
do that anyway. It's not new.
I don't know that they do. I mean, I would be
Yes.
real pissed if I'm going and I'm picking up something and another person picks it up and it's $1 and it's $1, and the third person that's coming to pick it up, suddenly it's $1.20.
No, it won't be like that. But they do this now. I mean, you look at things that are more expensive in the summer than they are in the fall. I mean, this is supply chain is a insanely large business, and,
Right.
and people that do that very well are handsomely compensated for it. This makes total sense.
Dynamic pricing.
Amazon's been doing this for years.
Gas
I
stations.
don't even know if it's called. I wouldn't call it dynamic, but I wouldn't call it dynamic pricing. I mean, the prices of things change. If you try to buy sunscreen during the summer, it's more expensive than it is during the winter. Every single time. It's always been like that. There's more demand, therefore they can jack up the price by 90 cents, 60 cents, $1, whatever, and
Well,
you'll pay for it because it's the summer and you're going to the beach.
You can
and
also
need sunscreen.
blame just-in-time
What?
sourcing for that too.
all right.
You can buy when is it cheaper to buy outdoor patio furniture?
At the end
December.
of the season.
Okay, why?
Yeah, because nobody's buying it and they want to
Precisely.
need the
I mean,
space.
it's the same thing. There's
Factories-
nothing new here.
Factories can't necessarily switch what they're producing on an easy basis, so they continue to produce this product, and the warehouses get filled up, so they got to empty them out.
100%.
Oh.
Did you guys talk about Google Fiber last week?
Oh, no, we didn't. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you guys see this?
No.
No.
So, Google is selling off its fiber division.
To who?
They are.
I
Let me see. Let me
forgot the
pull it
name
up.
of the
I had it
company.
bookmarked, but I see.
If you forgot the name of the company, it sounds like a good thing. It means it's not to Comcast or Spectrum.
No, it's
right?
not.
So,
No, it's something
so,
I've,
no.
so it's fine.
I
You're
haven't.
selling it to Walmart.
Gosh.
Now that's a problem.
Let's see. It's selling it off to a group. They're combining with a group, another broadband company, forming an independent provider. So Google is just letting it lapse off of
They
its
use
books.
mostly contractors anyway.
Yeah, but no,
You
they
get
are.
a
they're no
Google
longer
Fiber,
gonna be
Not
managing
very
it.
often that you actually had a Google employee.
No,
They're
but
going
there's-
to
but
be
it's no longer their product.
right. They're going to be just a minor stockholder, a minor.
Stakeholder,
That's
yeah.
what it said. Yeah. Yep. Hopefully the prices will stay.
It's
the
interesting.
same.
There was. That's the first question because of the
Yeah.
pricing.
Yep.
Google, because Google is such a large business, they can afford to have a loss leader. I'm not saying they were necessarily losing money on fiber, but they may have been. It's going to be interesting to see now with it under a completely different firm that does not have all of Google's other money
Yeah.
to play with, and to maybe subsidize. Does the price of Google Fiber kind of realize with the rest of the market? My guess is probably yes.
Oh, I mean, they're still trying to sell you newer and better service. I mean, the latest that I got from them is you need 8 gigabits. They're up to 8 gigabits that they can get you tomorrow.
And
Amazing.
If you're running a bunch of servers at home, yeah, that could be
Nobody
great.
needs more than 100 for a home. I'm sorry.
100
mega. 100
No,
mega.
you really don't.
Gal, is your phone a Samsung?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is your fridge running, Gal?
Now, if you had 100 meg or 100 whatever speed, you might be able to do that royalty music listening thing without having
but
to
then
have
it'll go to the
anything
same IP.
outside. You could do it all internally.
I saw Gal's phone yesterday. And it's
Stole his phone?
I saw it. And it's just the
Talking
ones
about-
that opens
He's
up.
talking about this.
Oh, you have the flip. Yeah.
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 Or not the
it's,
flip,
it's a
So
the
now
4.
Samsung is saying it's reportedly ending sales of the Galaxy Z Trifold
Yeah.
just months after launch, likely due to high production costs and limited supply.
Yeah, makes sense. They came out with one that folds 3 ways.
Yeah.
Basically opens to a tablet size, very thin tablet size device. It costs like over $2,000.
Yeah, 28 something.
Oh yeah, so almost 3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh, my Lord.
so I don't know what made, like, it's a great proof of concept. By the way, I think the Chinese, they have Xiaomi, they have a version of their own, which I think has the design is better in terms of how it opens and how it's being used. But still, it's like, yeah, where it's not there yet, and with the supply chain messing up chips in the world right now, I get it.
Yeah.
It's not the time.
And TVs. A German court ruled that TCL misled consumers by marketing certain TVs as QLED when they do not deliver the color reproduction expected from QLED TVs. It has ordered the company to stop advertising or selling those models in Germany. I mean, that doesn't mean that
Who's
they're
suing
only...
who?
Huh? TCL.
Who's suing TCL?
A German court ruled. They're not suing them. They're just saying,
somebody
hey,
sued them, right? So what's
I don't know. The
court doesn't do without the filing, doesn't do anything.
but if it's not producing what you expect from QLED in Germany, then it doesn't produce QLED output anywhere in the world.
That's the thing. QLED is only about backlighting.
Well,
So I do not expect anything from QLED. So strange.
I don't know.
why I'm
That's
saying
what
it's
the
important to understand who's.
Aren't most TVs now LED backlit with individual LEDs instead of so?
No, I
but
think
it's
most are regional LEDs.
like an LED.
Those are the cheapest to produce.
Yeah, the ones
Yeah.
that are on the edge of the screen.
No, not the edge of the screen. They'll be in a matrix like settings.
Right, an
But
array.
you'll have
yeah.
something like 16 or 20 on a TV.
Yeah, they're typically called dimming zones, and that's if you have a TV that has got much more dimming zones, you'll get more vibrant blacks because the backlight can actually turn off. It's hard to do with those regional
Yeah,
dimming
that's it.
zones.
yeah. But anyway, if you see a TCL and it's QLED and it costs more, I would worry.
No, it sounds like TCL QLEDs now are gonna cost less because they'll need to dump
get rid of them.
the
Yeah,
supply.
which is fine. Yeah, that's okay.
This is like the person that reboxed donuts and said that they were fat free.
And
and they weren't. And people were, well, I'm eating these, but I can't lose any weight.
a new type of battery storage is about to be deployed on the Midwestern grid for the first time. This is reports by Electric. Sodium ion battery storage manufacturer Peak Energy and global energy company RWE Americas will pilot a passively cooled sodium ion battery system in eastern Wisconsin on the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator Network. The first
It works.
sodium... What?
It works on kosher salt.
I don't know. The first sodium ion deployment on the grid. Peak Energy says the technology is specifically designed for grid scale storage and leverages sodium ion chemistry inherent stability. Unlike many lithium ion systems, sodium ion batteries don't require active cooling and can operate over a wide temperature range without losing performance. And you can always go and stick your hand and take a pinch and put it on your. It's interesting. I mean, it's things are evolving in a nice way. If that works, if they can. I mean, this is probably a big room size battery. It's not something that you put on the back of your phone, but it should.
I don't know. If you look for sodium ion batteries on Wikipedia,
Yeah.
you see double A's in the
Really?
image. So the cells are small. Yeah.
Okay. Well. And we like Firefox. I do.
I like.
A free built-in VPN is coming to Firefox on Tuesday. Right?
Nah.
Yeah. That sounds like a bad thing, not a good
They
thing.
announced it last week. It's the 149.
Yeah.
Version
care.
149. Free VPNs can sometimes mean sketchy arrangements that end up compromising your privacy, but
Exactly.
ours is built from our data principles and commitment to be the world's most trusted browser. It
Yeah.
routes your browser traffic through a proxy to hide your IP address and location while you browse, giving you stronger privacy and protection online, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I don't buy it.
I'm
The
sure you can
moment-
turn it off.
The moment they do this, they need infrastructure and they need to pay for that infrastructure. Right? So
Yeah.
whatever they're doing, I do not see the reason for a nonprofit to do. Okay, that's my problem. Yes, privacy is important. Yes, I do trust what Firefox has been done code-wise. But why the hell would they want to run a VPN? Right? Something was incurring costs, something that will literally bleed them out. Pay for more engineers and build better software, but don't do this.
They're competing with Opera and Brave and all of these other browsers that are advertising free VPN, and that is
I understand, but
there's this misconception that you need a VPN to use the internet, which is just not true.
yeah,
and so Opera and Brave is big time promoting their VPN.
The article says that users will have 50 gigabytes of data monthly in the US,
That's
France,
nothing.
Germany, and
fine.
UK.
So what?
Well, I mean, is that a lot? This is
No.
Not really.
it's not.
Not if you're watching YouTube. If you're
Yeah.
watching YouTube videos, you'll burn through that in a couple of days.
Yeah. So that's probably because of that, what they're paying.
Of course,
Yeah.
it'll be capped, but still,
Yeah.
it's too much. It's like doesn't make any sense. Sorry.
Yeah.
I use Nord and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, but see, here you're paying for a company, right?
Yes.
That this is their way of making profit, and your privacy is their business.
Yep.
When you're talking about free, it can't be part of the business to bleed out money.
I remember
So-
early on with VPNs, there was a company that would give you minutes of VPN time for how many ads you watched.
Oh.
And back when I was like, I'm not paying for this, I did that,
Nick,
but was not convenient.
Nick, did you hear that about CBS News is shutting down its nearly 100-year-old radio news service
It is. Absolutely.
due to economic pressures and the shift toward digital media and podcasts?
Yeah. Very expensive to operate
Yeah.
24/7.
And Dan
radio service.
rather
Very, very expensive.
says it's another piece of America that is gone. Well,
Like him,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no money to be made.
Yeah.
CBS is hemorrhaging cash, and
So
Barry
Dan-
Weiss of course, is getting a lot of criticism. Is doing everything in her power to try and keep CBS News afloat, and is seeing obstacle after obstacle over.
so is
everything that
Dan
she
rather
does.
comparing that leaving to his leaving?
all right.
There's not many stations that are running CBS radio anymore. It's much smaller stations, like small regional AMs and things like that are running CBS. So it makes sense.
Yep.
There's plenty of other alternatives. ABC, Fox, a couple of others are offering news, 24-hour news service.
Anything else anybody wants to add?
This is just a kind of a weird out there question. Who's familiar with these offerings? One is called Rapid Radio. Have you heard the advertisements for this? This is a walkie-talkie like device.
I
that
was
uses-
asked the question about it,
Yeah,
and they keep saying, "Oh, it's so reliable. It's when when the cell phone network is down." Well, no, because it runs on 4G.
yeah.
It's
it
a
uses
s-
Delta.
it's still a
Advertising
s-
it like it's going to work with when the society collapses. It's like I'm really annoyed by these ads.
Marshall called and asked me about it because he said, so if there's a, in the mountains, if there's a disaster, I mean, I want to be able to communicate. So do you think that'll be a good thing? And I went and read, and it says it's a cell phone. That's all it is. It
Yeah.
works over the
Now-
cell. So it's what?
There's one solution.
Ham.
Yeah,
I said there's one solution to this problem.
Yeah.
Ham radio.
sure.
That is the
Yep.
if you are looking for a truly uncompromisable system,
Right.
it is amateur radio.
Yeah,
Because
and
there is no
they-
network. And
they-
you just run with that.
they advertise it, and they said that it will go over 100 miles, 200 miles, and come
Well,
on.
it will.
Yeah, sure it will. Your cell phone will go thousands of miles, right?
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
Correct.
now
Yeah.
there is a niche use for this. Like if you have kids and you don't want them to have a cell phone yet, and you
well,
want to stay in touch with them, that's great. But
What-
understand what it is and how it works.
do you remember the flip phones that were, I can't remember the make.
Jitterbug.
Jitterbug.
No, no,
With the gigantic buttons.
no. Ones that there was also, you could just talk to somebody. Beep.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was
Motorola.
Nextel.
Oh, you're talking
Nextel,
about
that's it.
Nextel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had
yeah.
it was mostly for companies because you could
Yeah.
be guys on a job site talking to each other without making a phone call. Yep.
It was Sprint.
Yeah.
Sprint and Nextel.
Yep. So yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, yeah, they're
Hey.
cool. They work, but if you're looking for a non,
sort
you're
of
looking for a form of communication that cannot be disrupted by natural disaster, it is not it.
yeah. No, it's not.
Now, I will say this: cell towers typically do have generators, so there's some level of reliance there. But I've seen during hurricanes here on the coast that the cell towers will stay up.
Yeah, but they
because
have no
there's,
they have no connection
power.
to the network.
Well,
Yeah.
which is a major problem because your phone is pinging cell tower and you can't get it off that tower, but the tower has no backlink or backhaul, so you're on a dead tower, but you've got full coverage.
Starlink,
so I don't know
Starlink,
how
baby.
that works. That is also a great solution. Starlink would be your, if you want an internet-based thing, Starlink would be
What's
the
the
solution.
Amazon version of that? I forget now. They're trying it, and it's. I was reading about the technology to find out. Well, how are they going to coexist? It's at different altitudes.
Yeah.
And Spence, if anybody, I mean, I know that they advertise it like, what was it, $200 a phone or 2 phones?
Yep.
Yeah, Walmart has 4 phones for, I think, less than $100.
And what about subscription? Because
I mean, it's a year. They
And
all
after
have
that,
a
you gotta
year
pay.
subscription and all that stuff. But just in case somebody that you know really wants it, you can get it from other sources. The same technology. All right. Anything else? No. All right. Well, thanks, Nick. Thanks, Spence, Katie, Gal. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. And change any same password wherever you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT 107.9 FM in Charlotte, and it's on YouTube. So just go to YouTube and search for the Carolina Journal News Hour and get the details. And Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m., Nick hosts the Nick Craig Show at nickcraig.com. Where else? Just go to nickcraig.com and you can download past shows and get the information from there. Have a great week. Stay safe. See you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.